So, coming up on, there are several parties coming up. Keep in mind, those of you who are parts of these different groups, but Sunday, the 9th, we're going to have baby baptism. Garrett Thomas is going to be baptized, and then we also have next Wednesday night. Now, this is the last Wednesday night, and Miss Carolyn has been so great. Now, Justin lined her up to come and cook for us. She's the cook out of Oak Grove Island for Steve Dawson. Does a great job. And
the audio output from my
I was going to ask
projector for the speakers, you know. So you're just going to have to give me
a couple seconds. Anyway, we'll figure out something that we need to do for her. Because see, what she would do, Justin would bring the food, have it in here. She had the menu lined up, and then she would cook it, bring it back. And it's so great to come in here Wednesday and smell all the good things cooking in here. And she does such a great job. So, that having been said, we need to give her something. I really would like to give her something as a Christmas gift. But this will be the last week she's cooking. And next Wednesday night, why don't you come up and say something about next Wednesday night?
So you'll be able to see what the folks are seeing.
Okay, where am I?
But I will say something.
Yeah, come on and say something about the 19th. There will be one more week. Oh, we got it. Come next week prepared to get vaccinated. That's why it wasn't an emergency. Yeah. Come next week prepared to bring a little tip, and we'll give it to Miss Carolyn for being our cook. Okay. So we do have another week. I've been reprieved. Light bulb. Okay, Celia, tell us about the 19th.
Thanks. On the 19th, the schedule for dinner is pushed back 15 minutes for our working mothers to be able to get their children here. So it's going to be 6 o'clock, and we're going to have a chili supper. And it's going to be a love offering. And we're going to be fundraising for the new playground in 2013 that's going to be being built here in the parking lot area. So if you will please come on the 19th, we'll eat together at 6 o'clock here in the fellowship hall, chili supper with baked potatoes and the fixins and dessert, and then we'll move into the sanctuary for the children's program. And they are working so hard, and they are doing such a great job. 3 of our participants are here today, and they are just stars. So we look forward to seeing you here, and we ask for your generosity as we prepare for the 2013 playground. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sue. So next Wednesday night we'll have our regular supper, and we're going to have a little Christmas program. How could I forget that? Rodney, is he hooked up on over sound system?
Not yet.
Okay, how about going ahead and plug them in? Let me ask them a couple questions real quick.
Begging your
Yes.
indulgence.
Jeremy.
It's Josh's birthday
Sound
today.
system first, Rodney.
What?
It's Josh's birthday.
Today is Josh's birthday? Well, where's Josh? We would sing to him if he was here.
We're having this birthday party.
Always having a birthday party. Okay, so we see Josh come happy birthday. Now, Monica, by the way, is sick. Keep Monica in your prayers. She is very sick. I think a recurrence of the flu, but I'm a doctor, so I don't know for sure. She's had the flu once, and I think it's a recurrence. So the flu is going around. Missy also has the flu, I think. And we are getting some news. Thank you. You want to go ahead and put them up on the screen? Next Wednesday night, little Christmas program. 19th, the children's program. Now, the trustees have approved the site plan, and so far there's no expenditure. Richard Bunkley and Bill Schumann are the co-chair for this. The site plan preparation is being donated, and heavy equipment that needs to be moved around is being donated. So far there's no expenditure on this, so we're excited about that. And then they'll be taking the steps to get the rest of it. Okay, this is Rodney McDonald. Rodney, we welcome you. Now, let me tell you this. Rodney just received a generous gift at Christ Church, which was my former church, Richard Soper Church, before he had to leave for medical reasons. Has a thing that they've done there for 20 years called a pumpkin patch. They sell about 5,000 pumpkins during the Thanksgiving season. They're everything from big yellow ones to little variegated colored things that are so pretty. We set up, while we were there, a little hayride down into the field, and we set up pumpkins to try to convince them this is what they look like growing in the wild. Well, they haven't grown there in the wild. We just had vines laid over the top of them. So, but anyway, it was a lot of fun. But Rodney just received a very generous donation from the Pumpkin Patch efforts. They usually raise about $10,000, give all of it away to missions, various missions. And so Rodney got a donation from for Ursula from Christchurch. So I'm excited about that. Again, Rodney, what do you see? I know that the picture is very small from in the back there, but what do you see me raise my hand? Can you see me raising my hand?
I can see you, but I can't hear you very well.
Oh, okay. Okay, why don't you just go ahead with a demonstration and tell us about the water filter project and what's involved in it.
Okay. Thank you guys for taking the time to listen to this to start. I came there to talk to you guys last year, and some folks had donated for filters. Who in the room had donated last year for filters? Is there anybody here? I can see your backs, so I'm behind you actually. Up front. And let me see, people that donated last year. We got a couple in there, huh? Maybe, looks like. All right, well, we started this project in 2009. And I'll give you, for the people that weren't there last time, I'll give you a little bit of a briefing about what Ursula is, how it got there, and about this water project and how it ties in. What we're about is we're about trying to improve the emergency systems of the country. So we're working with firefighters mostly, but also with police, to try to provide better services in a country that's not had the good fortune that we've had to have really good, strong emergency services. Different levels of that. One is with equipment donations, where we get our retired firefighting equipment and use US so we fly it down to Nicaragua. We have a shipment that's scheduled right now for December 10th of about 19 tons of fire gear. It's coming out of Bend, Oregon. We just received 6,000 pounds a few months ago, and we have 2 miles of fire hose sitting in Warner Robins that we're trying to get fit right now to get on the shipment, hopefully in the next couple of months. So that's one of the big things, is getting the equipment. The other side is training, where we're always looking for firefighters or anyone with skills that they can help the firefighters to try to teach them things such as brush fire techniques, extrication from vehicles and accidents, things such as that. We're also looking for people who have skills in business or something that can help them learn how to go in their own communities and do fundraising and get support out of the local community. So it's not just firefighters we're looking for, it's anyone that has a skill that they could use to go all the way into administration or whatever. And then we have a community integration segment. And in the community integration segment, what we're trying to do is get the firefighters out into the communities, to talk to the communities, to improve their image, to improve communication, because what we know is that the image of the firefighters in the stations and the image of the firefighters on the street are two totally different images. So we're trying to bring those together and get them out to communicate and help people kind of get an understanding of what the fire departments can do for them. And with that comes along projects such as the water filter project. We actually have several others. We have one that's a burn prevention program we're hoping to launch this year to teach children burn prevention in schools. It's a program very similar to what goes on in the U.S., except because it's a new concept here, instead of it being 1 day of a firefighter going into a school, it's actually 4 days. The firefighter goes for 1 day, and the other day is the teacher is teaching in the classroom. We have a smoke-free stove program where the women here in the kitchens, they still cook over open fires. And so it's a type of a stove that can burn 10% of the wood, take smoke out of the house, and help reduce lung disease and lung infections, which is one of the largest health issues of the country for women and children. The one we've had the most success with the one we started with, was the water filter project. As of last Sunday, since 2009, there were eight a living room right now. Some of them have been accounted for in donations and some of them have not. So we're hoping to get this 350.
Rodney, it broke up whenever you started giving the numbers. I want them to hear the numbers of water filters. It really crackled and we didn't get the number there. So do that segment again about as of 2009.
Okay, I'll try that again. As of 2000, well, we started in 2009. As of this last Sunday, we've delivered 888 filters. Right now in my living room, which we're in my house, my living room's right there, I have 350 filters, where some have been allocated for donations, some of them we're still hoping we'll get donations for before the end of the year. We have 5 communities located right now trying to service. If we get the donations, we're able to put them in those communities. We've also, this is accounted for about 20 communities so far. If you look at the numbers of people that live in the houses, the average household, we're looking at, we probably provided safe water to about 4,000 families, or 4,000 individuals in the past 3 years. So it's a great project. The thing about these filters that's really nice is that they put accountability into the family's hands. It's not going in and building a water system that has to be managed by some organization inside a community or a city organization. Each filter goes into each home. So once it goes in, it's the accountability of the individual family to take care of it. The way that they work is real simple. This is a 30-liter bucket. They got smaller, we try to get the bigger ones. And all the filter is, it looks like a flower pot, basically. I don't know if you can see that or not, I think you can. Looks like a flower pot you'd have in your yard, home. But what they've done with this is before they fired it, when they made the ceramic, before they fired it, they mixed in sawdust with the flame. And so when it fired, the sawdust burned off and it made the filter porous. The filters are regulated to where they pour about 1 liter of water per hour. So it filters very slowly through the clay filter. And then the inside of the filter is lined with what's called colloidal silver. And as the water passes by the colloidal silver, it knocks out 99.6% of the bacteria. So all that families really have to do is just simply pour the water in the top. They can pull the regular water they've been drinking or whatever, and wait. And all they gotta do is wait, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it through that filter or through that camera or not, but it's slowly dripping out at the bottom. And it'll fill up the bucket. Once they get the system going, after about a day or so of getting it going, as long as they keep water going through it, they'll have fresh water to drink coming out of the bottom. We use this in our house here. We have decent water here in the city that I live in, but still we use it because I like it a lot better. It's a lot cleaner than anything you can get in a bottle. That's for sure. All the families have to do is about once a month. They don't have to clean it with detergent or anything. We give them a brush. They take the brush and they just clean out the inside about once a month with the water that's been filtered, throw the water away, and start the process over. We go back to the communities about a year after delivering to see how the is using. We found that about 80% of the families continue to use them. And we found that diarrhea cases in particular, after the first year, after having the filters for 1 year, generally we're able to reduce the diarrhea cases in the communities by 50%. After the second year, 75%. So there's an increase that happens after they've had them for 1 year. I don't know if it's because some of the long-term effects or if it's because people start using them, they didn't believe them at first or whatever, but it's shown steadily that we get a 75% increase after 2 years of use. We match those up with the company that makes the filters, and our statistics are coming up exactly with what they're showing as well. The filters themselves are able to work for about 5 years. After 5 years, all we have to do is go in and paint them again with colloidal silver, so they don't do anything. One of the big advantages of this unit is that the community we're delivering can't afford the entire unit. That's one of the problems, is they don't have the economic advantage to be able to go out and purchase all of the parts they need. But once they get the unit, every piece is, if they break the filter, then a new filter only costs a few dollars. If they break tap, it's taps of 20 cents. You know, the bucket break, they can use any 5-gallon bucket, you know, like a standard 5-gallon bucket you see at Home Depot. But they can get one of these like this for about $6. So once they get the system, they can maintain it. The other advantage we've had with that is that we're using the firefighters as distributors. So we're starting to put into the fire stations, where the fire stations themselves are actually becoming distributors of parts and pieces. And the people that can actually afford the filters, such as landowners or business owners that want to buy them, can go to the fire stations and buy the filters themselves. And so it's also providing an income generator for firefighters. So the project's really been a strong win-win for the communities and for the firefighters themselves. Now, what the donors receive is when we deliver the filters, we take a photograph of the family. The donor, when your filter's delivered, we send you a photograph of the family, the name of the family, and a GPS coordinate of the house, because there are no addresses in Nicaragua. And so you can expect information in tonight usually. You can go on Google Earth, you can see exactly where that went. We've had donors that have come down to visit, and they want to go visit family to receive their filters, and we take them out, and they meet the families, and it's a really neat experience when they get to go out and meet people that they've actually donated, a simple little project for $50 to change lives and things like that. Kind of how the project works as a whole. If you do, you may need to sit back and talk. I don't know if I can put you up the microphone and give that a shot. Are any comments about the project or anything?
Just some of that last broke up a little bit. What we were hearing about the cost. Now, do the cost thing again. The cost of it, the expense. How much is it to buy a water filter?
The donations are $50 per filter, and what that includes is the filters themselves cost us $25, and then we buy a brush so they can clean it, and then we have usually about 5 trips to the community to do a delivery. We don't deliver until we're able to have enough filters to do the entire community, but it takes about 5 trips to get that system set up. Gas down here, just to make you guys feel a little better, gas in Nicaragua is running around $5.50 a gallon. So going out to communities can get quite expensive. The first trips is set up with community leaders to do assessments of the community and make sure we're bringing them in the right place. Then of course deliveries, and then we go back for a 1-year follow-up. And most of the communities, what we're doing is we're going back into them anyway, because through the water filter projects, we're finding other issues the community has that the firefighters are able to help with. Well, that is that last year we delivered in a place called San Juan de Samolco, and we found that the people in the community were using hypodermic syringes like you would find at a hospital as light switches. Now, I've seen that before in a house or two, but I've never seen it where the entire community was using it. So right now we have electricians and firefighters that are in that community change out those syringes and put in light switches to make the home safer. But that's a project that we never would have been able to even identify if we hadn't had donors for the water filters to be able to get us into the community and find those problems. For a donation, we work with several churches, so you can raise a collection there at the church. Jim knows as well, so you can gather them. Or you can go online. We have it set up for PayPal online at ursula.org. And also through there's a way you can communicate with me directly. On Facebook and everything else, we have emergency response services for Latin America on Facebook and everything. So however you want to connect, questions you have at any time, we're always available.
Hey, I want you to see, before we sign off, I want you to see Ed and Jan Storch. They are the ones that you sent me their pictures last year, and I was supposed to forward, and I did not. So it broke down in my computer. So before we leave, I want you guys to go back there so we can see you close up. And if you've still got those pictures, if you've got the picture of their family, resend them, because I've looked back and I can't find the email, but that's not to say that it's not there, believe me.
Actually, I found that picture today and emailed it to them, so they got another copy of it today.
Oh, okay, so they've got a copy of it. So anyway, I'd like for you to meet them face up, so you can see them at the computer in a minute. So, okay, what questions? Anybody have any particular questions? Anybody? Yeah, Jan? Okay, we have a question about coffee. Can you ship coffee? Coffee was great. La Bamba.
Okay, well, the coffee's available anytime on our website. You go to ursula.org, there's a button there to buy and order the coffee, and it ships out of Atlanta. So anytime you want coffee, you just go on there and click on the button, and the good thing about that coffee is that they don't roast it until you order it. So it's actually green bean until you order it, and then they roast it the day that it's ordered and ship it to you.
Wow, okay.
So it's always available. The only distribution we have is through the website, which you can go on the website, ursula.org, and on the first page, I think on every page, you'll see the Bombero blend, and you can order it right there.
Bombero, that's it, Bombero. And,
Great stuff with the water, and she has to buy coffee.
yeah, the Nicaraguan cigars, they were wonderful. Can you bring any more home? No.
Cigar?
The cigars.
Well, that's a little contraband.
That's contraband, yeah, we better not talk about that. Okay, anybody have any questions? Jim Welding?
How do you spell Ursula?
ERSLA, Emergency Response Services for Latin America. Hey, Rodney, tell us how much 2 miles of fire hose weighs.
How much does it weigh?
How much does it weigh?
Answer that question exact. Hopefully the next couple of weeks when Dave gets unpacking it. But I can tell you that we put 2 trailer loads, it's like 16-foot trailers, and had 3 blowouts between Atlanta and home trying to get them down there because of the weight. So it went.
The Forsyth Fire Department gave 2 miles of used fire hose. Now, you know, when you get this emergency response stuff, you cannot, fire departments can't dispose of it. I mean, they can't give it away. They can give it away to non-tax, 501c3 organizations or third world countries and that kind of thing. So these people can give used equipment. They can't sell it. They can't gain any money from it because it's used, tax money was used to purchase it. Firefighting equipment, turnout gear, oxygen tanks, all that kind of thing. So, and as I say, one of my proud moments in life was driving a fire truck in the belly of a C-17 December 2 years ago. That 3 hours later landed in Managua, Nicaragua, and they drove it off the truck down there. But that was so neat. That was a neat experience. So. The firefighting people that you deal with, are they employed? Are they volunteer?
I couldn't hear you there.
Okay, firefighting people, the firefighters that you deal with, are they volunteer or are they paid?
The majority are volunteer. They usually have 1 or 2 per station that are paid, and the rest are volunteer. And a lot of these folks that are firefighters have very, very little in personal. I mean, most of them are students. And they still go out of their way to go out there and work with the fire departments.
Tell them about the experience with the lack of the jaws of life and then getting one last year.
Well, we've got one sitting in my living room right now that we're looking to get some training done. I had a firefighter lined up from the U.S. that was going to come down next week actually and train, but he's not able to make it. So I've got it lined up now for another one. But things like that, HRST tools, jaws of life are extremely critical to have down here. Most of the fire departments we're working with are right on the Mid-American Highway. And so there's a lot of accidents on the highway, and they just don't have the tools to be able to get people out of accidents. We delivered one into Condega a few years ago, and I know of people that are alive because of that tool being there. So it's critical that they get the equipment to be what we take for granted in the U.S. We just assume it's there. If somebody, imagine what it would be like if you were in a car accident, you were trapped, and the fire department showed up and said, "Well, we got a pair of pliers. We can't get you out because the biggest thing we got is a pair of pliers." And that's a tough thing to know that people, are dying because they don't have access to a tool that can save their life. And in the U.S., these tools have to be replaced after so many years. The tools have a lifespan still. Most of them look brand new. Most of them operate like brand new. but according to the regulations of the US, after 5 years or 10 years, they have to be replaced. So we're giving those tools a second chance. And, you know, to have a tool that's 5 or 10 years old, it's much better than not having any tool at all. So, you know, the firefighters are very appreciative of what we get. You know, it's a very important cause to try to get these people what they need to be able to save their lives.
Hey, are you carrying right now any of the chlorine generators down there?
Am I carrying what?
Chlorine generators from Swin.
No, we're not doing anything with those right now. We worked with those in Haiti, mainly just because of they're more for disaster relief than what we're actually about. We're more about building development, but with when something does happen like Haiti, of course everybody changes gears, and we went in and did some disaster relief with those chlorine generators. But today we're not doing anything with them. Okay. Luckily, we don't have disaster that we have to go deal with.
Yeah. Okay, anybody have any other questions? Anything that you want to ask? Are you going to be home for Christmas?
No, I'm going to be down here. Next time I'll be up there is in April. So hopefully in April I'll be able to come visit you guys in person.
Are you still an eligible bachelor?
I'm sorry?
Are you still an eligible bachelor?
Yeah.
Would you care to elaborate on that any? For someone who may have a daughter that's looking?
I've minimized my dating pool down to a drop in a bucket because there's not many people that want to live down here and do what I do. So, I love it, but to find somebody that wants to try to live this along with me is not that easy to do. Yeah. So,
Rodney.
We also, one more thing though. Anyone that wants to come visit, we love having visitors down here. We have volunteer programs, we have internship programs for students. You know, anybody that's in a nursing program or a rural studies program or an economic development program that's looking for an internship, even people that are in arts programs. We've got a couple of video editors that are coming down to do an internship this year.
Do you have more ABAC students coming down?
Internships, we have programs set up to be able to do that. We have a program with Austin State University through ABAC. Kennesaw State's coming on board this year, to where they bring students down on what we call a study abroad program. They come down for a 9-day visit, but it's not only limited to the students at the school, it can also be anyone that's got an interest in coming. So if anyone's interested in coming on a 9-day visit to learn more about development or learn more about healthcare in a developing country, let me know as well, and I can put you on one of those trips. Or if university is interested, we can set up a program with that university in particular.
What's the average size of the college crew that comes in?
The average size of the what?
The average size of the college groups that come in.
The first year we had 13. Last year we had 21 in a group. But what we're doing this year is we're offering 3 different dates. We're trying to keep it down below an 18. Because if we get too many, it gets too crowded. So we're offering 3 different time periods, 1 in the spring and 2 in the summer. And we're going to spread the groups out because we got a feeling we're going to bring in about 45 or 50 this year. Good. So, but the more people we get, we can always set up more sessions. So it's not a problem.
Okay, well this has been great, and I really appreciate your taking the time to do this, and I think the hookup's been really neat. We have a good picture of you up on our screen up front. I don't know if you can see it from back there, but it looks good. This is our first attempt at this, so we're doing good, and I think you've gotten to know Jim Weldy, and I want to thank Jim for all the time he's put into getting all this put together and put up for us. So. Anything you want to say to us before you go? Be sure you put us on your schedule for next year whenever you're coming in. We want to see you here in Brunswick, okay?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys because this is all fun, but I really did miss having dinner. So, next time, hopefully I'll be there to actually eat with you. But thank you guys very much for your time as well. And Jim knows how to get in touch with me, so any questions that you guys have, I'm available all the time to talk. So. Thank you very much.
Hey, Rodney, give your mom a big hug for me.
I will. Well done.
All right,
All right.
thanks, man.
Thompson.
Y'all wave backwards.
See you. See you. Okay. Jim?
Okay, this is neat. That's neat. Jim Welly worked hard at this. He really did get this all together. So I really appreciate it. Jim, thank you so much. You did a very great job. This is our first experience for this, so this is cool. This is really neat. Okay, what was I thinking I needed to remind you of before we go? Is there anything? Anybody? Yeah. Oh, Kathy, flood buckets. Yeah, come on, say something about flood buckets.
Well, not to copy another disaster relief or related, but I've got an email from the conference from Jamie Gibson, is the UMCOR coordinator for the conference and the one that trained us in early response team. Basically, they say we have been designated a collection point since about this summer at Epworth and school admissions, and they're basically now beginning the inventory, how many buckets have been collected around the conference, and I'll do a quick check with 14 Methodist churches and towns, probably kind of a little off guard there, but anyway, but they're hoping to basically do a collection the last week of December no less, and the first week of January, and they'll be determining where they go, whether it's New York or whatever. So basically, we've got stored here, we've got like 20, we had 25, 5 of them did go down, we went down to St. Mary's and checked that relief first, and they usually stay very much in conference here, but anyway, there should be some coming in, churches just kind of contact, we won't be getting them up while we're staying here, but bottom line is, I have an email draft, there's a preacher data there that we can start collecting a few more buckets if you'd like. I've got the same list. There's a second list that's kind of a shopping one if you want to be cheap and buy them in Dollar Tree like I do, so I'm telling this Gene all the time. But even though it's real busy now, if your class or circle or anybody or individually want to throw in a buck or two towards something, we probably will try to collect some for them too. But we will let you know when if buckets really start coming here and going out. But we won't be shipping anything, but they'll let us know ahead of time, hopefully a little bit ahead of time.
Collection
And
point.
be going out, but it will directly go there.
Okay.
As long for Hurricane Sandy. They didn't literally say it's going to that, but I think so, they thought it'd be going to New York. And thank you, that's not the short version.
Okay, good. Thank you, Kathy. Hey, did you all get what he was saying about how these things are made? That the silica that gets mixed in is very filtered, it's very fine, and it melts when the firing process. So that creates the filter down to the nano whatever, and it filters everything coming through. It's just incredible the way that thing goes. It just seeps, the water seeps. It's kind of like the earth is a natural filter for water, seeping through. So anyway, that's really neat. I want to tell you one Methodist connection and then we'll go. The chlorine generators, and I've got two actually in my office, but the chlorine generators that he was talking about, he actually was in Haiti shortly after the earthquake down there 3 years ago, and actually backpacked. He and two other guys backpacked 50 chlorine generators on their backs, literally. Carried their camping gear, they carried their own survival stuff, and they went to an orphanage where the conditions were absolutely horrendous. I mean, there was no orphanage anymore, but the children were still there, and the adults that took care of it. Then no lives were lost in this orphanage, but they had no source for clean water or anything. These little chlorine generators are little tubes that were invented by United Methodist laymen in Iowa. And they have a Methodist church, it's called SWIM Ministries, Safe Water International Ministries, SWIM, Inc. And they have had this patent. We offered at Christ Church to patent it for them, to help them patent it. And the guy said, our lawyers have told us we don't need to do that because we have provenance over the invention. And he said, besides that, we don't sell it. We don't try to make money. All we do is take donations in to make them. It costs about $40 to make one. But you take this little PBS tube, it's got two metal plates in it, a certain kind of metal, I forget what it is now, positive and negative charge that you hook on clamps to a car battery, any kind of a 12-volt source. You take 8 ounces of water, 1 teaspoon of salt, dissolve the salt in. Now what's part of the formula for salt? NaCl. Half of it's chloride, okay? Individually, sodium and chloride are poisonous. You put them together, they're salt, and we eat it, see? But you pour this 8 ounces, when you hook this up to a battery supply, pour the 8 ounces through, it comes out the bottom, you put it in a container, It produces 8 ounces of chlorine that's as strong as chlorine that you buy in the store, 5% chlorine, pure chlorine solution. That 8 ounces is enough to sterilize 300 gallons of water or sterilize an operating theater of 300 square feet. And they're just absolutely amazing. And these guys, Rodney was one of them. That's how I met Rodney, is that they backpacked 50 of these things on their backs into this orphanage to create clean water for the children of this orphanage. So this ministry at this Methodist church in Iowa, I forget the name of it now, but they do this thing, and they're worldwide in this. But as he said, it's more for disaster response. This is for existing conditions. So, okay, well, let's have a word of prayer and we'll be dismissed. Okay, Lord, we thank you for those who feel called, for those who respond to the needs of others, even around the world. And Rodney has been written up as an outstanding alumnus of ABAC College, and he could be doing just about anything that he wanted to do. And I thank you for his willingness to serve others and to give his life in that way. And so I just pray your blessing upon his efforts. Speak to his own heart, we pray. Speak to our hearts during this season of giving. We pray in Jesus' name. Amen. Look up Ursula. If you'd like to donate a filter, ursula.org. Don't put me in the middle process, and you'll get your own picture back.